The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
White supremacists have developed a new list of racist code words designed so search engines can't immediately spot them. So Jews have become Skypes, black people have become Googles, and Latinos have become Yahoos. So this got me thinking, are there other code words I don't recognize? The answer is yes.
There was a young man who just posted a video trying to combat white supremacists on the internet. And I found this video when I'm doing my research on my show. I like to do my research before I bring things to my community. And for all of you who are just tuning in, I am on Big O Live. We're on iHeartRadio, and now we're on YouTube also. As I was saying before, this needs to be discussed, people. Because what's going on out here is they went from wearing robed hoods into corporations. Once the feds started cracking down on white supremacy and corporations, they went to politics. It's been a slow progression. Then they went from politics, and when the internet exploded, they found another market to spew out their hate. So what they did was they went from the hoods, burning crosses in people's yards and hanging people. That didn't work because the police cracked down on that. They went into corporations to build wealth for just white people. That didn't work because we had laws put in place. Let me explain this to you. I joke around a lot when I'm on my live feeds and I do crack jokes and stuff. But when it comes down to stuff like this, I'm very serious about it. And the history on that, if any of y'all ever heard of robber barons, look up the history of robber barons. Robber barons were rich white men who sucked the lifeblood out of America and didn't care nothing about minorities at all. They would work you 13, 14, 15 hours and didn't care if you lived or died. You need to look this up. And I like to bring a historical aspect to my show when I bring my show out, because this is needed in our communities. And like I said before, they've gone from the robes, hanging people, the burning crosses. They jumped into industry, become multimillionaires after the Great Depression, started squeezing minorities out and pushing white people in, all the redlining. Then when the government put regulations in place, they started going into the government, pushing their kids into the government, because who better to stop regulation than us? Push our kids into government, and the people who in the government make regulations. So now that's not working, because a lot of minorities, and I want to give a shout out to all the black women in Atlanta and Georgia. Oh my God, the women in Georgia stood up. The black women in Georgia stood up and voted this year. They flipped Georgia. So by them flipping Georgia, that's showing them that even if you go into politics, it's not going to work, because the vast majority of American citizens are not with bigotry. But thank you, Blue Magic, for joining me. But tap that screen, you guys. Make sure, let me know y'all are live out there. The vast majority of Americans is not racist, but you have a sense of entitlement that bleeds over into racism. And what I mean by that, a person could tell me all day long he's not racist. I got plenty of black friends, until you start taking their privileges. As long as you poor and you're their black friend, it's cool. I'm not racist. But once they start seeing some of the benefits going towards minorities, I don't care what type of minority, that's when you start seeing the bigotry come out. This man right here is, I'm about to show you a video, and for my people on Big O, you can't see this unless you go to YouTube. Okay, because my Big O live stream, you can't see my screen. But if you catch my show on YouTube, thank you, Kiwi, for joining me. But if you can see my screen on YouTube, you'll be able to see the full show to the point where you can watch all the edits, the cuts that I put in to show you the live videos that I'm bringing to you. Now, this man has deciphered. Hey, Queen. Thank you, Queen Niece, for joining me. But this man has deciphered the hidden code of white supremacy language over the internet, because they've slowly worked their way into the internet and they found a way to disenfranchise minorities from voting. They found a way to oh my God, thank you people, thank you for joining me. They found a way to disenfranchise blacks from voting. They found a way to squeeze out people out of their land, out of their money, but it's not working. So now they done went to the internet to manipulate people's minds. Later on in the show, I'm gonna show you a guy who was a QAnon supporter, and he didn't believe how brainwashed he was, because he just felt like stuff wasn't right. And the reason he felt like things wasn't right because he had been so used to having all of this privilege. And when he's seeing, oh wow, thank you Queen, thank you, I appreciate that. So when he's seeing all of these people that's minorities jumping ahead of him in certain things, he feels like now his bigotry side is showing. You know, he feel like things is not right. So he started getting manipulated and moving into strange territory over the internet with this whole QAnon thing. So this guy, I'm finna go over some of these keywords you need to watch out for. If you cruising the internet and you see some of these keywords in people's chats, look for this stuff, because they have ways now that the word has gotten out that it's too many blacks out here on the internet, so we got to be careful how we say certain things. So listen to some of these keywords and some of these symbols. Like I said, for my people on Big O, you can't see it unless you go to YouTube. You catch my channel on YouTube, you'll be able to see the full show. Check it out.
14 words. The 14 words refer to a white supremacist motto. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. I think that's messed up, and I'm literally a white child. 88. So H is the 8th letter in the alphabet, so if you ever see 88, it might mean HH, or Heil Hitler. Combine the first two and you get 1488, which serves as a handy white supremacy signature. It's even been parodied as a Lion King song.
It means no non-white dispossessing your race.
Now, I had to show you that clip right there, people. I had to show you that clip. It's terrible. The reason I had to show you that clip, because I've ran across this stuff, didn't even know what it was. Like if you see somebody's little icon that has 88 or 1488, Pepe the Frog, a little frog picture, Darth Vader, you know, they have slick ways of letting other white supremacists know who they are while in the same chat room as you. You don't even know these people out here. It's crazy. You might even be friends with somebody on Facebook that has Darth Vader as his icon, his picture on his Facebook page. You know, or Frog, Pepe the Frog on his Facebook page, and you done befriended this guy. And you don't even know that this stands for white supremacy. He letting other white supremacists know, hey, you know, we got to talk in code. I got a lot of black people I work with, some of them on my Facebook page. You know, we got to talk in code. And this goes back to like the 40s and 50s before internet came about. This goes back to the 40s and 50s when they used to have them, when the Klan used to stick their fingers in their waistband. And they throw the Klan sign up. You know, they throw the KKK sign up. All of this goes back to then, when you walk right past these people with their hand tucked in their waistline, you don't even know what this means. You think he just country. You know, you think he just some old country boy. But the whole time, he's letting other whites around him know that he is what he is. He's a white supremacist. He's a Klan member. This is some serious stuff. It's also dangerous because if you don't know who you're around, they can do anything to you. They can spit in your food. They can run you off the road at night. You stop at a gas station and see some good old boys. They throwing up signs, not gang signs, because they don't do all that. But they throw a gesture that you don't know nothing about. You get in your car and think you finna head on down the highway and you done got ran off the road. This is some serious stuff. Now he gave a couple of keywords. Now he's finna show you some symbols that you can watch out for. And they're going to be symbols all throughout this video. You're going to see symbols of how white supremacy has flooded the internet. And like I said, I've run across this stuff personally. I just didn't know what it was. I'm thinking some white guy done put a cool little crazy symbol on his, on his page. But you don't know what this stuff is. But this guy's breaking it down for you.
For the love of God, that better not be what the new Lion King is about. According to the Anti-Defamation League, this triangle sometimes serves as a symbol for the KKK. But if you're a decent human being, you recognize it as the Triforce. The racists ruin Pepe. Don't let them ruin Zelda. With some of this stuff, it's hard to tell if it's ironic detachment or genuine racism. But at some point, what's the difference? Other symbols include this, that, and this. Educate yourself, and when you see them, flag them and report them for abuse. Make the internet just a little bit better. Can we go back to the cats? No, not the Hitler cats. Yeah, that cat. That's a funny cat.
Now, all of them signs and symbols, I'm almost sure while you guys is cruising the internet, you're out here, Googling something, you don't understand what this stuff is. You see it, but you don't pay no attention to it because there's millions of signs all on the internet. But that's what this stuff means. They got different branches of white supremacist movements. And each of the branches have different signs and symbols. I'm going to tell you some of the... Listen again to what the man said about what they call Jews, blacks, and Hispanics. If you're in a chat room and you hear some kid say, the Skypes, I'm tired of these Skypes. He's talking about Jewish people. You hear a young guy you playing Xbox, and they got chatter on the Xbox when you're playing your video games, and you hear somebody say, man, I'm tired of these Googles. You don't like what? You thinking he just some country little kid that made up his own language. That means black people. Hispanics, Yahoos. You in the chat room, you hear somebody talk about Yahoos. They're talking about Hispanic people. These people have learned to get inside the internet. These people have learned to get inside the internet and manipulate the system to the point where they can talk around your head. You don't even know they're in there. It's crazy. That's why I do my show. I want people to understand what's going on around them. We could put play aside, and we could chop it up later on about all week long. I do comedy. I talk crap to you. I love it. I might ask you, do you got roaches in your house? Do you got roaches? That type of stuff. I'm gonna play with you. But sometimes we gotta take stuff serious because you never know what's coming down. This Donald Trump character shook a lot of people up in this country, white and black. The rise of Donald Trump should have scared everybody. It should have scared everybody. That's a dangerous man. And he's a con man on top of that. I'm going to get into this first commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to dive a little farther into this. Because you guys, man, y'all got to understand that we living in a networking society. And the internet is the focal point. Especially people on Big O. I see people on here like 5, 6, 7 hours a day trying to get them beans. And my thing is, there's nothing wrong with it, but you got to be aware. You know, you got to be aware of what's going on around you. On any platform, any social media platform, got to be aware. It can be Facebook, it can be Instagram, whatever. You know, I'm aware. Like the other day, I contacted a guy. You know, I was trying to, you know, ask him some questions, and he started talking about Kool-Aid. I played it off. I didn't even let it. Thank you, Iris, for joining in. I played it off until the end when I told him. I said I understood what you tried to do. You know, I already got it. I got it before he even when the first syllables came out of his mouth. Kool-Aid. I got what he was trying to say. Self-love. Thank you for joining. Y'all tap that screen. Let me know y'all alive out there. Run that 5 meter up. I got a message to tell to the people, and they need to hear it. Then y'all can go back to getting your beans. I'm gonna get into this first commercial break, man, and when we get back, we're gonna dive a little deeper into this because this Q Anon stuff is dangerous. They brainwashed 40% of America into thinking all kinds of crazy stuff. We'll be back.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Me and Bae gon' always be tight. Though you not with me every single day and night. Even when they start to acting like a fool, yeah, they loving every single thing you do. You know that they can always be themselves. They love each other more than anybody else. And every day as you see them on YouTube, you know there's not one, it'll always be just two. Too stupid Emily, too stupid Emily, too stupid family. They'll make you scream. It makes me wanna sing. It's a family thing, a family. Too stupid family, too stupid family. They'll push your buttons. It makes me wanna cry. It's a family thing, a family. Too stupid family.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
QAnon is a baseless conspiracy theory with a growing online community of believers.
We are Q.
At the heart of the theory is Q, an anonymous insider who purportedly reveals information via cryptic posts. The theory claims there is a deep state within the US government that is controlled by a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles, and that President Donald Trump is trying to take them down.
Welcome back to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. As you can tell by what the man just said, QAnon is a movement that started, and get this now, get this people, QAnon is a movement that started when Donald Trump ran for president. Think about that now. Nobody know who started Q. It could be some kid in the basement, for all we know, down in Oklahoma somewhere, who started Q. We don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Q actually started when Donald Trump ran for president. And now, whoever they paid to start up this Q, you know, now they're trying to find some other outlet to spread their hate and their mistrust in society, in American society. One of the most dangerous things I've seen Q do, they put it out there that Hillary Clinton had child pornography and child kidnapping going on. Some of y'all might have heard about this story. It was a pizza parlor in I think it was New York or somewhere, and they were saying that Hillary Clinton had a man in that pizza parlor kidnapping young girls and putting them into white slavery. Some white guy who'd been radicalized jumped in his car and drove to that pizza parlor waving a gun. What's up, Panda? Thank you for joining me. Y'all tap that screen. Let me know that y'all alive and not bots. I don't mess with bots. But the man drove to the pizza parlor and waved a gun around. The police had to come. The pizza guy said he don't even know Hillary Clinton. Never even met Hillary Clinton. So my thing is, what I think happened is, one of Q supporters probably went into that pizza parlor and got some bad service. So he decided to say something bad about these people. But what he don't realize is he could have got somebody killed. Death is the final. Death is it. That's it. There's no more money. There's no more hatred. There's no more love. There's no more nothing. He could have got somebody killed, fooling around with this conspiracy theory. This is dangerous. These people are dangerous. And it's a shame because a lot of people out here, they in la la land. I'm gonna get to the story about this guy. This guy, he talks about his experiences with Q Anon and how they basically tricked him. They tricked him. He didn't understand what he was getting into. My thing is, how did you understand after Donald Trump lost? I don't get that. Now that Donald Trump's not the president anymore, now you finally understand you was tricked? I don't get that. Some of these people act like straight goofballs. Listen to what this guy says.
Looking back, it seems so obvious that I was like probably in a deep depression when I found Q.
Jatark Jadeja, who is 32, says he found QAnon on the internet in 2017. Though he's Australian, he had previously lived in the US and was already interested in American politics.
I think superficially it did seem like it gave me comfort. I didn't realize the nefarious kind of impact it was having on me, because it was very insidious how it slowly disconnected me from reality.
Now, you hear what the man just said. He said the things he went through with QAnon slowly disconnected him from reality, to the point where he was hiding out of his house. He thought he had enemies everywhere, on the internet, outside his house. The guy basically went crazy. Temporary insanity. I call it temporary insanity. You know, some of these people, man, they when you look at them, you can tell they really ain't socially and they really ain't socially connected. You know, like they'll go out into the woods and live in a house all the way back in the woods somewhere. The only time you see them is if they pop up at the grocery store. You know, I live in Tennessee, so when you live in Tennessee, you see people like that. And they have this deep hatred for everybody because they don't interact with, they don't say, hey, how you doing? All you gotta do is say, hey, how you doing? And then you will see that I don't want nothing you got. I'm not gonna steal nothing from you. Nothing. I got my own shit. Don't want nothing you got. I don't want your wife. I don't want your goods. I don't want to steal nothing from you. I don't want none of that. I got my own. And they don't understand this because they separate themselves from the rest of humanity, because they don't like the way that America is going in their eyes. And this is another aspect of that. This is going to get you right here, people. The vast majority of the new bigots and racists in this country are not pure white people. I'm going to let that sit on your soul for a minute. Just contemplate that. We already know that the white colonizers brought slaves here. Okay, we know that. We already know that white supremacy is mainly about white people thinking they're superior to all other races. But this is what's going to get you, people. This is what you got to understand. A lot of these new bigots are white-like people. They're not white. They're white-like people. Like all of the Hispanics in Florida that voted for Donald Trump. Overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. He don't even like you. He don't like Hispanic people. This guy right here, the QAnon guy, he's a Australian. You a minority. You're not even white, but he looks white. but he's not even white. Stacey Dash. If you look at Stacey Dash from a distance, she looks like she's a white woman until you walk up on her and start talking to her. Then you could tell she's a black woman. She looks white, and she had a lot of hatred in her heart for black people, especially black men. So a lot of the new bigots out here, a lot of the new racists are light-skinned people, high light-skinned people, Hispanics. You got a lot of Hispanics out here who don't like other minorities. And then you got Australians, people that come from other countries like the Hindu, the Indians. And what they don't realize is white supremacists don't like you neither. It's mind-boggling when you see these people like this. You thinking to yourself, how in the world can a Mexican vote for Donald Trump when he locking your kids in cages? Thank you, Nature, for joining me. That's like me voting for Donald Trump if he done went and rounded up 5,000 black kids and locked them in a cage. You think I'm finna vote for that guy? I don't care if they snuck across the border or not. And then you didn't even have the thought in your mind to make sure that y'all kept track of where the parents were, so y'all can reunite these people. It's mind-boggling to see people like that run around here. Like this guy, this Australian guy. He said he woke up one day and was like, why am I even doing this? And the reason why is because he looks white. And he was getting the white privileges that come along with looking white. Just like a lot of light-skinned people get a lot of more privileges. They're still black now. They still can get the boot just like we dark-skinned people can get the boot. A light-skinned black person can get the boot too. But a lot of them enjoy the benefits of looking damn near white. So what happens is they blend right on in with them type of people that really don't like them neither, but they feel like they got a leg up in society, so they start hating on other minorities. This is some scary, manipulative stuff. This is some mental stuff. This will fry your brain to even think about this stuff. We're gonna have to talk about this Pepe Le Pew, the frog man, the frog people. I call them the frog people. This is another aspect of white supremacists that done hit the internet. And these frog people are dangerous. You know, these frog people are dangerous. This is another aspect of them. They took the internet by storm. But now people done caught on to them, so they done branched out to other icons like Darth Vader. You know, they put the sign symbol 88 up on their websites. So we gotta talk about these people too. They dangerous too. They fit right along in with the Q Anon crowd. We're finna get into the next commercial break, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about this whole Pepe Le Pew and Darth Vader and all these other icons. When you see this stuff, people, you automatically gonna know who they are. I wouldn't even join their chat groups, because once they see you join their chat groups, you know, they're gonna start talking in code, because they know you in there.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
We think of history as something that's in the past and forget that we are making it.
Josh Hawley.
Oh, Josh. You had it all.
You were on track for a bright career.
So much potential.
A leader in American politics.
Building a legacy.
You went to the right schools.
Stanford, Yale.
You built your connections.
On your way up.
Won your seat.
A winner.
It had all come together.
You didn't learn a thing.
But then,
Sedition.
you made a choice.
The wrong choice.
A choice to stand against America.
Traitors.
You stood with insurgency instead of democracy.
What a waste.
You pledged your allegiance to Donald Trump.
You're his guy.
And all that came with him.
White supremacists.
These are your followers now.
Losers.
These are your allies.
You're a disgrace.
You made your choice.
What were you thinking?
The wrong choice.
What will you do now?
You can't distance yourself from it.
You can't escape it.
You led it.
They were following you.
This
Your fault.
is your coup.
Your failure.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
You heard what the man just said, people. Most of these white supremacists, I said most because like I said, you got a 10 to 15% of the minority population have joined in with these people because they have the benefit of having a lighter complexion. And by them having that benefit of having a lighter complexion, they're accepted on beaches. They're accepted in industry. They're accepted in certain places. Thank you, Melanated Queen, for joining me. Y'all tap that screen, man. Let me know y'all alive out there, not bots. They are accepted because of their lighter tone skin. So when they get more privileges and they hear a white person say, I don't feel like nothing's wrong in America. Maybe just black people need to get off their butts. And then they look around, they see the privilege that they got because maybe they're lighter complexion. And they say, yeah, I agree with you. They just some terrible people. You know, like they're not a part of the black race. You know. And they're just accepted. They're not really wanted around neither. They're accepted because of their lighter complexion. This guy right here, he's talking about the frog men. I call them the frog people. You know, they got their own little thing going. They got these signs and symbols that you can watch out for also. But these signs and symbols are a little different than the 88 and the neo-Nazi signs. Those are easily recognizable. Okay, those signs are easily recognizable. But some of you gamers out there, I'm an avid gamer. I got my Xbox on standby right now. I'm an avid gamer. You know, and if any of y'all guys catch me on Twitch, I got my Twitch is Old Man Gamer X. You know what I'm saying? You can catch me on Twitch. Sometimes I play what's my game I play over here? I do Fallout 4, Call of Duty. I got several games over here. You know what I'm saying? So if you see me at Old Man Gamer X, you catch me on Twitch, I'm on there. That's me. But my thing is, what y'all need to recognize while y'all playing these games, especially y'all adults, tell your kids, you know, that frog icon, Darth Vader, you know, they got all they got the man's finna explain to you several different icons that you should watch out for to know whether they are white supremacists or not. This is some dangerous stuff. And what they're doing is they done blended in with the gaming crowd. Not just the internet, but they blended in with the gaming community. And some of our kids are talking trash to these white kids online. These white kids have been radicalized by their parents, and they got all kinds of crazy icons up. And then you got black kids that'll do it too. Put that frog icon up because they think it's cool. They really don't understand what it means. You know, they think it's cool to see Darth Vader, the Darth Vader icon. Oh, I like Darth Vader. I'm gonna put mine on a Darth Vader. And then he gets all kinds of people contacting him that are white supremacists undercover, thinking he's a white supremacist. You know, next thing you know, he's inside of a chat room going live on Call of Duty, and he hears the N-word drop. So now you got this little black kid, here's the N-word drop by a white kid, because the white kid thinking that everybody in his chat room is white. So y'all got to be careful of this stuff. This stuff is creepy. I'm gonna let the guy explain it a little bit better. I'm gonna let him explain a little bit better. Hold on.
Many of them understandably don't seem too happy with the general level of ineptitude he's displayed since coming to office, and many others are even openly expressing regret for even having voted for him. You know, you've got the usual Pepe avatar people, that folks using the frog emoji in their Twitter names, and Trump's also apparently lost the support of Darth Vader, Frankenstein's monster, and Skeletor. Many of them understandably don't seem too happy with the general level of ineptitude he's displayed since coming to office, and many others are even openly expressing regret for even having voted for him. You know, you've got the usual Pepe avatar people, that folks using the frog emoji in their Twitter names, and Trump's also apparently lost the support of Darth Vader, Frankenstein's monster, and Skeletor.
Okay. Darth Vader, Skeletor, and Frankenstein. They done went from the Pepe Le Pew frog. So some of you white people out there who are not racist, find out what your kids is doing. You know, look at they icons. Cause sometimes parents might not be bigots, but they hang around bigots at their school and get radicalized, and you don't even know it. Those are icons you can watch for. You can see this stuff. Pepe the Frog, a frog picture, Darth Vader, Skeletor, Frankenstein. These are all connected. These are all connected to the whole white supremacist movement. Oh, thank you, Queenie. I appreciate that. And I can't wait for your live neither, cause I'm gonna show you some love back. But you know, you got people out here, man, that don't even have a clue to what their kids are out here doing. You know, their kids out here just into everything, and got races on their websites. They looking up all kinds of ways to build explosives. This is a cultural shift from outright racism to undercover racism over the internet. They know who each other are. This is why they didn't recognize when the people rioted at the Capitol. They didn't recognize it. Anytime something major like that finna happen, the feds should have been on top of that immediately. But these people are moving in codes. They moving in codes right now. They probably on channel, right? They probably talking about me right now. I don't care. I can defend myself. Yeah. I can defend myself. So I don't care. You know, my kids are grown. They straight in life. They good. But they probably talking about me right now. On whatever platform this show pops up on. iHeartRadio, YouTube, Big O, all the podcasting they probably talking about me in code right now. I don't care, cause I'm not finna talk about hip hop and what Toni Braxton wearing tonight on her wig. I don't care nothing about that. That ain't putting no money in my pocket. But this right here, what I'm doing, is informing my black people, my minorities out there who need to know this stuff. You know, that's why I do this, because they need to be informed what's going on. Thank you, Oops, for joining me. Let's go further into this, because he got some more stuff that he trying to put out there to let people know that these white supremacists done mailed it in to your kids, even in the kids gaming. They done blended in with them. Listen to this.
First off, institutionalized prejudice is a thing of the past. And indeed, if prejudice against minorities even exists at all anymore, it's purely on an individual level. It's a personal choice informed in no way by wider society. And legality trumps all arguments here, Minorities have the vote now, and business discrimination is technically illegal. Therefore, it doesn't happen.
Basically what that man is saying, people. Basically what that man is saying is the belief system they have is blacks can vote now. Blacks can work anywhere they want to work now, so therefore white supremacy don't exist. Basically, these people are tricking themselves into believing this foolishness. They putting themselves in a trick bag, and they don't get that. They feel like they're good Christian people. They go to church every Sunday. They don't treat black people harshly. They don't see what's wrong. All you got to do is stop and look around you. Hatred and bigotry done rose up again. It was always there, bubbling up under the surface. It was always there. But Donald Trump made it a trending thing to come out. Come on out with it. Say what you want to say. Do what you want to do.
Now, most of them know not to say it this directly in the open, of course, but basically this is what they believe. And it stems, in part, I think, from a misunderstanding of history. If you don't know too much about history, it's hard to contextualize a lot of this stuff, especially if you're a younger person. Everything that happened before they were born took place sort of nebulously a long time ago, and now it's all the same as ancient history.
I got my first guest tonight on the Daily Read with Marcus Gentry. How you doing, Prayers? Can you hear? Can I hear? Hold on. Let me turn you up so my people can hear you.
Or them on the phone with you.
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, do you have anything to add to this? How many? May I ask you, how many kids do you have?
Hey, Mr. Jones.
Gentry. Okay, Jones. How many kids do you have, if I may ask you? Can you hear me?
How's your day going, Mr. Jones?
Can you hear me? I think I got a bad connection, people. Prayers, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we was talking about on the show how the white supremacists have blended in with the gaming community, and some of us don't realize that these little icons mean something, like the Skeletor icon, the Frankenstein icon.
Crazy.
Huh?
Oh, it's going kind of crazy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If you need to talk, you can always call me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jones, for joining us. But we was talking about here on the show, and you are live on iHeartRadio. We was talking about on the show how a lot of these teenagers don't realize what they're involved in when they get online and they see these cool little icons and they put them up there, and then they join these chat groups when they're playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. See, these little white kids have been radicalized, and now they're in a chat room hearing the N-word drop, talking about black people and things of that nature. What do you feel about that? Do you feel like it needs to be more a watchful eye over the content over this internet when it comes to our kids?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you're a guest on my show. You live now.
I thought you was talking to somebody else.
No, you live now. You live. My camera's over here, but I got y'all pulled up on my screen over here. So go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
So the way I feel about it is that, we need to monitor our children and the things that they're doing, over social media, in the streets, school, wherever. because at the end of the day, if we are not monitoring them, then they get caught up in situations that we know nothing about.
Right.
They're sitting on there playing games and they're hearing the N-word dropped, and these people are being, racist. We also have to look at us as a human being, as a black person, where, we can be prejudiced towards one another.
That's true.
With the jealousy and the envy and different things like that. So when we look at things in a perspective, no matter what you have in your hand, you're being watched.
Right.
So the government is watching you while you're on your phone or whatever you're doing. They're watching you. We are not limited to being, watched.
Right.
So I don't know if you've seen the movie where the guy had basically, I cannot remember what the movie was, but it was on Netflix, and the guy, revealed how the government basically was doing third party in, watching us and everything that we do. So these kids are being watched and monitored, but because we're out struggling to make things happen for our kids by working and doing what we have to do we really have enough time to watch what our kids, are doing? Right. Because if we don't give them the opportunity to learn that stuff on their own, and the bad thing is that there's pedophiles and there's crazy people that are on these gamings and sites and will lure your children over. But it's all in us to take that time from when the children are little to instill in them stranger danger. Right. Right. Until you get to a certain age, you don't let your kids go to daycare until they get to a certain age. And for me, that baby got to be able to talk. And tell me who did it when, you know what I'm saying? So if I got to struggle or go get on welfare to make sure that my kid, you know what I'm saying, has the best education from me first before they actually start school. Right. Then maybe I won't have to deal with, the children, the situation about the racism. That would be the least of our worries, but it's never going to be the least of our worries as black people, because it's something that, is instilled in their parents that instill that into their children. Right. And these kids don't grow out knowing the N-word and on this net.
They learned that from somebody. Parents. That's right. They learned. Right. And that was I was playing. I'm finna play another clip here of the man is explaining their thought process. The first thought process is they feel like, thank you guys for joining. Queen Nisi, DC, Cash, Sonny, Josu. Thank you guys for joining. The thing about that is, the guy that I'm having doing the show with about, he's talking about how the thought process of them is, since blacks have the vote now and can work anywhere they want to work, there is no racism. Everybody got freedom of speech, freedom to do this, freedom to do that. But to me, that's like them hiding or turning the blinds out of what's really going on. They're turning. And that's what they're doing. Right. They don't want to face up to what's really happening in society, because this whole Donald Trump character. Let me go into this next clip.
Outside of a few bad eggs. Secondly, we live in a meritocracy. If women get paid less than men, that's because they can't compete. If black people get arrested and incarcerated disproportionately, that's because they're more likely to be criminals. Everyone is on equal footing now, you see. And if anyone can't keep up with straight white men, well, that's just because they're not as good.
Now, he's explaining to you their thought process. He's saying if women can't get the same jobs as men get, it's because they're not able to. They're not physically able to or whatever. And if blacks can't stay out of jail or get the same jobs, it's because they're just not as bitter as white men. He says this basically is their thought process, how they're thinking, and a lot of this stuff is in how we push our kids into certain aspects of life. Like. I did a show about 6 months ago on how, a lot of us want to see our kids with them trophies, want to see our kids with them football, athletic scholarships and things of that nature, because we know that 9 times out of 10, that's the only way we can get our kids into college. But they spend a lot of times pushing their kids into politics, because politics might not make as much money as a CEO of a corporation, but he makes the laws. And the laws can push a society towards one way or another, you know, voting and who gets what and things of that nature. So have you ever ran across these symbols? The 88 symbol, the green frog symbol. Have you ever personally ran across any of this stuff?
No.
I have several times. I just never knew what it was. You know, see, the Klan used to have these hand signals they do.
What is it called? The ABH?
The 88. 88 is 8 HH. If you go to the alphabet and count the 8, it's HH, which is Heil Hitler. That's a sign of white supremacy. White supremacists. I've actually seen this on people's icons, like on Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. I've seen the frog. And the frog is a.
You sure it's not just the fact that they were born in 88 or something?
Oh no.
Or is it like another?
Oh no, yeah, they put this as their picture, as their picture, like a symbol. You know, they have certain, in other words, they've graduated from speaking in code out here, and they've gotten smart enough to move to the internet.
Yeah, because so many of them are losing their jobs and stuff off of, you know, being able to reveal themselves and be true to who they are, you know, because I remember on social media one time where the man was on the news, Alabama news or whatever, and I went on there and I said, y'all promote racism. They come on here, y'all post a picture of a black kid, you let them talk any kind of way, you tell them to hang on, you know, this, that. When they've done something wrong, it could be a petty crime. But y'all literally want them to, what is it called? Hang this young black man for what? But then when a white boy does the same thing, you know, he's depressed, he's on medication, you know, you give him you coddle them, right? And then you give them, you know, you praise them on the little things that they do. This is just something he's going through. He didn't take his medication, you know, whatever. Right. And now you're looking at situations and you're like, you know, my black son just did the same thing this little white boy did. Right. But my black son got the harsher crime. You know why? Because of the color of his skin. Yeah. And this now I'm glad you said that. Check this out. This is gonna blow your mind. The whole 4 years that Donald Trump was president, he put over 300 judges that think like they think the Republicans and the right wing think on the bench for lifetime appointments. See, I did a show a couple of weeks ago about that. This involves our future, our kids' future. Because if, like you were just saying, if they break a glass and a white kid breaks a glass and they go before one of them judges that Donald Trump has put on the bench, over 300 of them for lifetime appointments, this went under the radar. Didn't nobody even know he was doing this stuff except people like me who study politics and who has a show dedicated to politics. So a lot of normal people that watch everyday soap opera programs and reality show TV and stuff like that, they didn't even know nothing about this. So now you got a whole I don't even watch the crazy thing. I don't even watch TV.
Well, I mean, the internet could be.
I do research. I do research and read books and stuff. So when somebody brings certain things to me, it's already into play, and God gives me like this discernment to, you know what actions are being. I mean, do I think Kamala and Biden are great for what's our people? No, they're not.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. We're definitely gonna end up seeing it. Yeah.
They did everything to keep Obama from showing that he was for the people and not just the people. You know, they never gave him a chance.
Right.
In office.
Well,
because of the color of his sex.
I have an hour on my show for iHeartRadio, so I'm gonna end the show, but we're gonna keep it going because this is a good discussion. And I appreciate you for joining my panel today. You the first guest I done had off Big O on the Daily Read, and I thank you guys for joining us. Let me wrap this show up, and I'm gonna tell all my truck drivers out there and all of my people that's in radio land broadcasting. Like I say, I'm going live on Big O now, and you can catch me on Big O, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Instagram. I got some videos on ITV, and y'all stay tuned. We'll be back every Sunday.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Bring in the business.